from all over the country to be part of that festivity.
No kidding.
It's the oldest rivalry in Northern California.
Huh. The more you know. It's been an education for me to work with you, Dave. I've learned more about the history of the programs here and the players as well.
Since we have in a second, Marty, I'll read the text from Drew. Oh man, what an amazing memory. Blew a 31-17 fourth quarter lead, down 34-31 with less than a minute left and no timeouts. First pass incomplete. Second pass, a 5-yard hitch to Steve Brunciardi, who pitches it to Ryan Gilbert around 75 yards with a score. We win 37-34. Beat Seaside High, San Jose City College. The highlight of Drew Schiller's career, who was a great player here in football and basketball. Now a commentator for the Pac-12 networks after playing collegiate basketball at USF and Stanford. Gendrow going deep. Knocked away and incomplete. What a hit from the secondary.
That was catchable, but it was high up, so he exposed him.
Zach Baszler, the intended receiver.
But boy, if you pull that in, then you're right close there. But you got to do that now. You got to take another one of those shots because you got to score. Now. I mean, you're battling the clock now even more than you're battling Sacred Heart.
.538 remaining.
Gendrow's done a nice job playing quarterback tonight. I'm impressed with what he's been able to do.
Second down and 10. Gendrow on play action. Flag comes in. Looks like a hold. Up for grabs. And incomplete. Don't know how hard he missed that one.
Yeah, and it's a hold.
Baszler down there again, and Hardy had a sure pick.
Yeah, it almost looked like he went up for it and misjudged, almost like if the wind or something caught it. It was like, whoa.
That is a hold on Burlingame.
10-yard penalty from the point of the foul.
Regardless of the outcome tonight, great season for John Philippopoulos' team with the one regular season game left. Got the head coaching job at the age of 28 at the school.
Yeah, I mean, you're disappointed if you lose this game because, again, you want a chance to compete at the highest level, but they still get into the D3 playoff. I mean, that'd be great for them.
This team will make some noise big time. Gendrow in trouble, slips one, slips two, gets rid of it.
Well, my guess is in the D3. I mean, then there's some good schools at that level, but they're not probably going to face anybody probably quite like Sacred Heart. So, I mean, that's, you always say, it's like, look, we've got a real chance to win this thing.
Zain El-Safi applying the pressure.
Like I said, tonight, it's just Sacred Heart's just got, again, a few too many horses and players right now, but that's nothing to take away from Burlingame. I mean, again, you're talking about a team, again, 33-3 over the last couple seasons. I mean, that's a juggernaut.
Burlingame 19-1 over the last couple years.
I mean,
3rd and 31. Gendrow in trouble. Pass too tall for Griffin and Jerry.
They got a late flag there. I don't know if it was a late hit or what, but something.
Roughing the passer.
Seeing it's little things like that the Sacred Heart just kind of continues to keep Burlingame, within a shot and a bit of a miracle to pull this off.
Gendrow under fire tonight. As applying to Ivy League schools, attended some passing camps in Princeton and Harvard, and can play beyond high school if he chooses to do so, but he won't give up a good academic situation to play football.
Harvard and Princeton have good academics?
I think so.
Okay. I'm just jealous.
Great student, great leader.
Yeah, I went to Harvard Yard, but, maybe not Harvard.
Bright future and a good present for this young man. First down, 10 to go. Pass for Entreri, incomplete.
Yeah, I think that was a misread by Entreri. It looked like the pass was there, but Entreri stopped his route. So someone was misreading the coverage.
Adrian Bolo on the coverage for Sacred Heart Prep. 5'11" junior.
I think Avery would want to take Cooper with him. Again, that security blanket, and say, let's go make some hay in the ivy.
Cooper with another year to go. Last year, a part-time player. This year, a big-time part of this football team. 2nd down and 10. Gindra on play action. No, they put it on the ground. Griffin and Trary. Ball comes loose, but Burlingame gets it back. Pouncing on it was Grant James.
Yeah, the problem now is Burlingame's killing their own clock. They've got to get it in here. They took a couple shots from about where the ball is back at now after a couple of penalties and sacks, but if they would have just moved it, about 10 or 15 yards each crack, they might have been able to do a little better and a little more efficient. But at this point, I mean, you're just trying to find a way to get the ball in and get it back with that short amount of time.
3rd down and 4 to go. Gindra on play action. Heat coming from the backside. Lobbed the ball across the middle, knocked away incomplete. Hardy with the big hit to separate the ball from Ben Williams.
Boy, Williams, he's got to pull that in quicker, but Hardy, give Hardy credit. He hit him right at the perfect time to knock it out. Labrado said, good job, that's good.
Mark Modest's defense stepping up big time tonight.
I mean, that's tough. A receiver, when you get that in your hands, you got to tuck it right away because you know you're probably going to take the hit. As my old position coach, Rocky Whitworth, says, you're going to get hit anyways, might as well catch it.
Great Hardy, who's played very well on both sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, well, a lot of these kids have.
4th and 4, Baszler goes in the slot. Cherry now slot left. Cooper wide left. Play action. Gindra lobs the ball forward. Picking up by Burlingame. A flag is down. Forward lateral.
Penalty on the play.
Illegal shift.
Illegal forward pass against the Panthers. Illegal shift.
4 minutes, 9 seconds left.
Well, again, I mean, both these teams, Burlingame, they have a lot to play for. I mean, a lot to play for. I mean, if you could go into that D3 playoff and you win that championship, man.
Outstanding last couple years. There's a look at a young man. Hasn't been his night, but a bright future.
Well, it's not for lack of effort. I mean, he's tried and to do it. I just think, Sacred Hearts just had some nice schemes, both offensively and defensively, and they just probably a little more right now talent overall than what Burlingame has. I mean, they're just a program on the trajectory that's a bit ahead of the curve of Burlingame, though Burlingame is, I think, really made up the gap pretty quickly.
Made the division switch this year, and 8-0 going into this game. Had a 56-point game against Los Altos, 46 Menlo, 42 Terra Nova.
I mean, and to Burlingame's credit, I mean, they've given up 35, but to do that to Sacred Heart, that's in and of itself is pretty good.
Program that reached the state championship game last year. Working clock as we wind it down. Griffin Kramer, senior, making his first carry of the night. Under 4 minutes to play.
Gain of 1 yard.
I mean, it's got to be exciting for both schools. And again, we talking about Burlingame just being exciting to be in this rarefied air of like, okay, we're winning now. We're going to get a chance to go to the playoff. Disappointing, but learn from it, move forward. And I mean, there's a lot of football left for them to play.
One final game at Menlo School next week. Matt Odell, the ball carrier. This will be our final game of the season for Comcast Hometown Network, and a terrific crew that we've had putting this together. There's a timeout, so we'll take a chance to acknowledge all these folks. Peter Planis, technical director, engineer Conrad Slater, replay Greg Boyson, audio Ed Bauman, Claude Shaw graphics, the Bug Box, Drew Planis, Director Bob Briggs, terrific season, and a great finish to our schedule here on CHN for the year.
Yeah, we have the easy job. I mean, it's everybody behind the scenes that does what they do. I mean, our job is cake. And, I mean, the guys in the truck, they work awfully darn hard to make sure everything is A+. And they're a good group of guys, too.
A lot of folks
guys and gals.
Acknowledgement for their work this year.
I feel like we just got started. I can't believe it.
SHP player currently dealing with a cramp. Might be Griffin Kramer.
Awfully dry. Awfully dry. Even the cold. I mean, it's just...
Do you ever get one when you're sleeping in your cab? It's the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. You wake up and you're like, what? You feel like you got... someone's biting you or grabbing you. Yeah, it's awful.
Program that's had a great year and one more to go. The little big game next week before the playoffs. Had a great visit with John Philippopoulos this week. He got his first coaching job, Woodside '96. Couple years, Pop Warner. He wanted to learn how to be a head coach after that legendary experience with Bill Gray at Oceana and Pacifica. Went to a JC while working, and then went to San Francisco State to get his bachelor's, and then the master's at St. Mary's, and doing a terrific job here at Burlingame.
So he was a Gator for a while at SF State.
Continuing to work on Griffin Kramer. Clock stops with 3:12 to play in the fourth.
Yeah, the way they're cranking on that foot.
While they're working on Griffin Kramer, we'll take a break and come back with more from Burlingame right after this. The injured player was Matt Odell, 33, and the wide, who left the field under his own power. As we wind it down here in Burlingame, a 35-14 lead for the Gators. Ben Burr-Curvin turns it for a first down. And that's a silly penalty on Sacred Heart Prep. Thomas Rogers, one of the captains, who's had an outstanding season, diving in late.
Yeah, that's how kids end up getting hurt. Can't do that.
Rogers, one of the outstanding leaders of this program, has had a great year.
Well, they're calling it.
Personal foul on Burlingame.
I think he pointed the wrong way. Or did he? Oh, really? Oh, maybe it's because they pushed him into the pile. I didn't see that.
Well, I thought for sure that was on Rogers diving in.
I did too. But I was wrong.
Moved all the way down to the Burlingame 35.
The ball is at the Panthers 35.
Palu of Burlingame, highly agitated, thinking there was a penalty on Sacred Heart. 2:35 to go. That's Tinsley getting some work at running back.
Say, if I'm scouting Sacred Heart, looking at the playoffs, it's going to be an interesting game plan, because you realize, okay, we're a running team because of the great depth of running back, but then all of a sudden you see this quarterback can throw when he has the chance and the time.
When you load up the box, you're really at risk of giving up the big play, which has happened tonight. 3 big hits down the field. Mahoney gets outside, takes on a tackler and gets to the edge. Cooper Jindrow driving him out of bounds.
Conversely, if I'm scheming or game planning Burlingame, as they get ready for their playoff push too, I look at the Jindrow brothers and say, we got to do something maybe to contain them a little bit, because they've got it. At least tonight, they had a real nice connection, and obviously they're brothers, and we kid about them probably doing this since they were kids, but they had a real nice feel for each other when they needed it, and that's a heck of a weapon to have too as you get ready for a playoff run.
3rd down, 8 to go from the 31-yard line. Peeking over to Lavarado for play instructions. Play clock winds down. And a timeout charged to SHP.
Well, they're still working on refining things. I mean, as you get ready for the final push, one more game and then the playoffs, you want to make sure that everything, this is a chance to work on those things, work on the details of your game. Because you may say, why, a timeout, you're up 3 scores. Still things you can coach on and work on and take advantage of those opportunities.
I mentioned the league titles for Sacred Heart Prep. Also section titles, 2010, 2012, and 2013. (13-2) last year, 13-1 the year before, and in that year, a 70-0 victory over Los Altos.
Wow. Now remind me, so they go to the title last year, but they didn't win. They weren't the league champs last year of their league.
At 4-1.
At 4-1.
Terra Nova with 5 consecutive league titles. That was their one loss at 29-15 before ripping off 5 in a row to end their playoff run. Big win over El Cerrito, 42-7. They were the prohibitive underdogs. Working clock as we wind it down.
Penalty flag is down.
Griffin Kramer.
Been a fairly cleanly played game until the last few moments. Now we're starting to get more flags. And again, it's holding because I think that you're getting tired. And when the big guys get tired, they lean, they pull, and they grab because it's just tough to sustain those blocks.
Credit to the O-line for the Gators, outstanding tonight. Bechtel, Welch, Rogers, Stolder, and Harmon.
Penalty is declined.
Averaging 210 pounds across the front. They're not huge, but great technique.
Well, right. And you don't have a good running game without the big guys up front doing it for you. And Sacred Heart has done that tonight. And again, when Randall had to go back to pass, I mean, no one's gotten a hand on him. No one's even been close to him.
4th down, 6 to go. Final 80 seconds here in Burlingame. Mason Randall on play action. Dumps it across the middle. Pass complete. And quite a big game for